Good morning and happy July and welcome to Market of the Moment. We're back and we're excited to talk about, well, it not only being Bobby Bonilla Day, which I know everybody on the panel is very excited about, also a very big win for our Phoenix Suns last night and moving on to the NBA Finals. So congratulations, Suns. And we are moving into the second half of 2021 officially today. So we are there. We spent a lot of time on Market of the Moment talking about, different ways to grow our business and to strategize and to plan our business. And we talk about these milestones, these parts of the year. Like now we're moving into the third quarter of the year. And so coming up part of this quarter, we'll be having conversations about what to do now and when we're going to start preparing for 2022, because it's just around the corner. We're already halfway there. So additionally, everybody on the panel today works with video. And so we're really excited to be having that as part of our conversation today as well. So let me start off with introductions. And start off with Miss Mindy Jones, the owner of the Amy Jones Group at Keller Williams Integrity First. Good morning, Mindy.
Good morning, guys. We have something new to talk about this week, so definitely stay tuned when we start talking about inventory because things are changing.
Excellent. Yeah, it's funny. It seemed like we were taking a little, but maybe not. So not to give out any spoilers or anything. So, and speaking of Bobby Bonilla Day, when we talk about money and we talk about how to manage our money, Amber Kavarik over at Guild Mortgage is going to help us keep on track to make sure we understand the financial side. So good morning, Amber.
Thank you for having me. You're going to make all of our viewers Google what is Bobby whatever day.
Bobby Bonilla. The guy had $6 million on his contract, and now he's getting paid like $40 million. So it doesn't even play baseball. It hasn't for a decade. So amazing. So anyway, also Miss Sharon Trahoon, the sales manager for Fidelity National Title. Good morning, Sharon.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I thought we were going to talk about Bobby today. We were going to talk about the Suns. The Suns, go Suns! Wow, they killed the Clippers. Killed them. Done. Gone.
That was quite a whooping last night.
That was a good one. I was very happy to see that come to closure. I'm not going to lie. I'm very happy. Go Suns.
And now it's just wait to see who's next, right? So
only one more. 4 more games, baby. We're done.
Yep, I like it. So, and this week, our special guest is Mr. Brandon Morgan of Be Real Productions. And so Brandon he wears a couple of hats, and he almost is always wearing a hat. So, and it was interesting because yesterday I missed you at your office because you were all getting a haircut. So, but we got a hat going. So Brandon is a co-owner of the We Deal Real Estate team and also the owner-operator of Be Real Productions. And I have the great pleasure of working with Brandon on a regular basis on video production within our organization, and many of our partners are working with Brandon as well. So Brandon, thank you very much and welcome to Market of the Moment.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Excellent. So, and he's coming to us live from his super cool new studio that just opened. It was this week you opened, right, Brandon?
Yep. Just Monday.
Excellent. So Brandon does videos on, we work with him at our office. He's got his studio available. He meets people out to do videos at their locations as well. And I just thought, a great topic for us today was to talk about different ways of that people are using video in their business right now. And so, I really kind of wanted to start off at the beginning and talk about what it means to shoot videos. And Mindy, you're an expert. For as long as I've been working with you, you've been doing video with your team. And, I always go back to those first times I shot video, and I was so just frozen in the moment and concerned about what I was going to say, concerned about how it was going to look. So Brandon, I'm guessing you probably deal with a lot of that with people you're working with.
A lot of people wanting to do video, or what was your question?
Well, people who kind of get frozen about doing video, right? They have trouble getting over the hump and getting started when it comes to doing video.
Well, the most people that I'm working with either do some video, right? So they've tried to do video. They do their live videos with their cell phone. They do, poor quality video, just basic stuff, right? And then some people that just don't do any at all that want to, right? So, it's a mixture. For the most part, the problem with starting in video is just not knowing where to start. So that's kind of why we started this company, to make it an easy button.
Excellent. Yeah.
Well, and I'd like to chime in on that, Don. Because coming from experience, I've been doing a lot of videos with Brandon. I did not do a lot of videos in the past. And, I am one of those people, you go in and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm nervous. What am I going to say? What am I going to do? And what I love about Brandon and what he does when he does the videos for you is he really talks it out with you. He walks through kind of what your goal is and what you're looking to do, and it really gives you some great tips on, don't worry about it, because, talk, pause, and we'll cut it and we'll do all kinds of crazy stuff. And I promise you it's going to come out amazing. And they always do. So just to speak from that, because I feel you, Don, on that question, because so many people don't get into it because of the fear of being on stage for the most part,
Right.
And we always talk about it from an accountability perspective. If there's something in your business that you want to improve, you may not necessarily be the expert in how to do that, but you may understand a need for it. And when you partner with someone like Brandon, who has the experience and the expertise in that area, you've created almost an instant accountability partner for yourself. So we've talked about accountability before. You can pay for it, right? You can partner up in it. You can attend a class. You can write it down. There's a million ways to do accountability, but paying for it is one of those ways. And so when you get into business with somebody who's doing something at a high level that you want to add to your business or know that you need to add, you have an automatic accountability partner, because you're going to have time scheduled to go to the studio. He's going to give you suggestions and tips on content that you should be pushing out. It's much more likely that you'll do something with consistency if you have an accountability partner.
And we're a little bit different. So we're not a one-off video. We don't do, hey, call me and I'll run out and do a video a couple times a year. We know that just like anything else you do in business, consistency matters. So all of my clients have to be with me for a minimum of 90 days. And we meet every single week at a certain time. We spend a lot of time brainstorming and figuring out what the content will be. And we don't just stop at shooting the video. We then go out and we put it out there for you. So we're the production company, the full production company, from the point of the concept to the action of making the video, all the way to the delivering of the video online. So most of our clients utilize not only the video service, but the media service that we do as well. And that's, working on TikTok, and Amber's just blowing up on that right now, to Instagram profile, those kind of things, and kind of focusing on 2 or 3 of your main social networks, and making sure that you're getting that message out there. And that seems to be, what's really working for us, because we know that just like anything in real estate, if you're going to door knock, you can't just do it once and expect results. You have to do it every single month or every single week. Open houses. What's the turnaround time on something like Every Door direct mail? 8 months before you get your first inquiry. So the consistency is kind of what we developed this business around. Is let's not only do video, let's do high quality video that actually is consistent.
Well, and I think that's important, Brandon, because I think the examples you illustrated are on point, because we see a lot of people who are like, well, I did a video and I put it onto the TikTok, and nobody called me, and so but it really does become about building that brand and building that where people recognize you when they see you, and coming back through over and over again. So, and I think that's one of the most important pieces that people are missing. Like, they have a video now, and now what am I going to do with it? And and so how do I take that video and go put it to work?
I have to ask you a question, Don. I'm sorry, based on something you just said. Do you have videos on TikTok?
No, I was trying to be funny about the TikTok. And,
I'm sorry.
But I know there's a lot of people who it surprises me to find out how much they're leveraging TikTok and the results that they're getting from it. And
are they 16 years old? 17?
No, they're so there's people like me who are I go on TikTok when I'm waiting between meetings or something.
When you want to laugh and you want to get amused.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen some of the stuff on TikTok because I have two teenagers. So.
Well, and Susie. Susie sees everything on TikTok and buys everything that they show on TikTok. And I've got the little waffle maker now. I've got all these things. And Susie's like, I saw a TikTok video. And,
TikTok is really interesting. Don, TikTok's interesting because it started off it had, it was mostly just, funny videos and stuff like that. But I mean, I think I have about 20,000 followers on TikTok now. And have closed multiple deals because of TikTok.
Wow.
It's kind of something that intertwines with your Instagram. So it pushes people to your Instagram pages. You can put out really good information. Amber, I know we've been really working on hers and she's getting great views right now.
Awesome.
We have one client that we took to, in 20 days, we took to 70,000 followers. And over, I think he's close to 10 million views now.
But I think, Sharon, your facial expression is still okay. Like there's a million ways to do business, right? And if TikTok is not your jam, like I don't know, I wouldn't even know how to locate it, let alone use it, right? And that's okay.
Yeah. If I look like these guys, I'm thinking TikTok's a good thing because you're all young. I'm like, I'm pretty much just aged myself right here. Like this is just my jam.
It's a way to get information.
Yeah, I wouldn't know where to find it, let alone open it, let alone use it, let alone dance to it. But the point is that there's a million ways to do business. And when you find the ones that are authentic to you and they're channels by which 100%. You can communicate, consistency and working with someone who knows how to use them like Brandon and that's how you put that's how you put a sales strategy together.
100%.
All right, so Dawn, put on the schedule next week. We're going to start TikTok with Sharon. Got it.
I like it. We're gonna blow Sharon up on TikTok. So her kids are gonna be so proud.
Oh boy. Okay, can't wait.
So let's talk about this. So Brandon, if I were somebody who is newer to real estate and I'm looking to start building branding through social media, obviously video would be an important part of that, right? So what does it look like when they consult with you in the beginning, and how does that go to what platforms are they publishing on? How does this look? What does that relationship look like with you and Be Real Productions?
Okay. So first, we kind of talk about the importance of video. And I mean, I don't know if you guys really know the true impact, or if the viewers don't know the true impact of what video is doing right now. Video is on average watched per person about 16 hours per week. So on social media. So that's like up 52% in the last 2 years. And then social video, it's generating 12,000% more shares than text or photo combined. So the other thing that's really good about video is that they're retaining the information. So they're retaining 95% of the message versus text, right? So if they're just reading it, they're not retaining it and they're scrolling it. They watch a video, they're retaining 95% of the message, right? So when I'm talking and we're not just in real estate, we just took on a client who's a lawyer. We just took on a client that is a social he develops water jugs for the gym. We just took on an accountant. So the first thing that we always talk about, and again, we're a little bit different. I first talk about what they want to do and if they're willing to do it. I don't want to work with anybody who doesn't want to do video, right? I want them to actually make this a part of their weekly life. So that's super important. I kind of talk to them about the commitment that they're getting into, and then kind of the message that they're looking at. We have a 3-step process with all of our videos. We want to know the emotion that you're wanting someone to feel, the message that you're wanting to get from them or get to them, and then what you want them to do next. So when we're developing any scripts or anything like that, we want to have those three parts in there: how it makes them feel, the message, and what you want them to do. So with any good video, you want to have a call to action. So we developed that, and then we set them up on a schedule. Pricing, we've tried to make pricing something that's really affordable, because we know how important this is. You go to other companies, you're going to spend $450 on one video, $350 on one video. We've developed this that you're getting as much as 20 pieces of content a month for a super low rate. So making sure that it's affordable. Then we get them to buy in, and then we have a 90-day schedule with them. And then after the 90 days, we haven't had anybody quit yet. So that's kind of the process of it. It's a consult first, and then it's coaching and then video, and then just executing.
And I think that there's some customizations available as well, correct, Brandon? Because we had a consult with somebody this week who is looking to put together a series of videos for getting information out. They want different people from their team delivering these different messages, and I have to tell you, like the adaptability of what we're putting together with them, and the reasonableness on pricing. They were going to shoot it on their cell phones, and they were going to try to edit themselves. I'm like, let's just talk to Brandon. Let's get together with Brandon and see. And then when we went through everything, and you put together a price for them, they're like, yeah, let's do that, because that's going to be way better. And it just made sense. So,
right, and that's something that I mostly do with partners. I mean, Fidelity, you guys are such a great partner that you guys bring someone that wants to do something like that, I'm going to say yes. It's so much easier now that we have the studio, and then with the Fidelity studio that you guys have there in Scottsdale, and bringing people in, it makes it a lot easier. And that's kind of why I developed the Be Real Studio, is because the hardest part that I found is going to someone's I almost said ugly office, going to someone's office and not being able to find a place to shoot, because we're not going to shoot like at their desk with a cluttered desk and all that kind of stuff. So making it, and you guys have made it so simple. I've actually copied the exact set that you guys have in Scottsdale here so that we can have that continuity. But so when working with people like who we were talking about, we're going to make 30 videos in a day to make sure that all of their process is recorded, so that they can send out to their clients, okay, here's what's next, here's what's next, here's what's next. And that's something super cool, and something that I hope to bring to other people too, because it's so important. We see bigger teams for the most part having this really cool system. So bringing that to the individual agent or the smaller team is something that I think would be really neat for us to work on.
Having the space though to shoot, I mean, you really can't underestimate the value of that. So our team does a monthly What's Up Southeast Valley, where it's a Facebook Live. And, over time, we've really focused on improving the way that looks. We do a lot of live video, and I believe very strongly that there is a place for live video, and there's a place for the phone, and there's a place for, the on-the-go kind of life in the, day in the life of sort of shooting. But for something like us, for the What's Up Southeast Valley, we've been doing it for almost 3 years. There's a set consistency, there's a set time, there's several of us on screen, there's guests, it's just sort of grown into this thing of its own, and we've always struggled with where to shoot it. So we've bought, better cameras and better microphones, and we've been more aware of the space that we need. And sometimes we'll do it on location at one of our nonprofit partners, but we're looking to partner with Brandon and leverage his studio space for something like that, because we can create consistency around the look and the feel. We've got a professional environment where we can have our partners come and meet us there and do it with us. They have lights, they have Wi-Fi. I mean, just having the setup alone, I think, makes people more likely to do things, right? For us, it's something that already exists, but we still need a home for it. For other people, they may have ideas, but they don't have a good looking space to do it in, so they just don't end up doing it. So I just think you can't underestimate the value of opening a space, and I'm so excited for you that you've done that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We're excited to start having people come in.
Yeah, and I think that it's something that that we can help people kind of get over the hump and getting started in doing video and incorporating video into their business. So, if you're working with Fidelity, or if you're open to working with Fidelity, we do have the studio up in Scottsdale, and we have Brandon there certain dates, certain times, and we are able to do that. So get connected with your Fidelity sales executive about what that could look like for you, and how we can help you to get that process started. And I'm telling you that, so we've had Sharon driving around in golf carts and doing all kinds of fun stuff in some of these videos that we've done with Brandon, and just some great content. And and if you're not sure what to do with it, that's where Brandon's team's a great resource. Your Fidelity team is a great resource to help you kind of put together what to do with these videos after you've created them. Brandon, when it comes, so back to kind of the real estate angle of things, and Mindy, for you as well, I know, you guys have both been using video as part of your real estate plan, not just the marketing of the team and the brand, but also of the individual homes. So what does that look like? And Brandon, is that something that if there was an agent who wanted to partner with you, is that something that they could leverage your services for as well?
Yeah, with our monthly service. So if you're a monthly client of ours, you can basically choose between in-studio time, doing stuff outside of the studio, or just home tour kind of videos. And especially Mindy is super good at this. Like if you follow her and you saw her stories from yesterday, I think it was yesterday, showing a new listing that's coming live, utilizing in the stories section of social media is super important. But yeah, so we do the same. We do the home tours that you'd see, standing in front of the home, doing drone video of the house, kind of making a really cool video of. And I love them for coming soon videos more than anything. We do unbranded content so that if you want to do something for your MLS, input, you can do that too. I also do 3D home tours. So if you want to do a, what do they call that? Toy house. What are the dollhouse look of where you can actually walk through the house virtually. We do that as well. It's not Matterport. I can't say Matterport because we don't use that camera. But it's similar to that. So yeah, we offer all those same things. And it's, again, anything that you can do. And we're going into that shifting market. I truly believe that these things are going to become even more important in the future. Right now you can put 2 photos on your listing and sell it, $50,000 over. It's going to change. We've been in that market. And if you haven't been in that market, you have to understand that things like the description of the home, the videos that you're using, the photos that you're using, that becomes extremely important in a buyer's market. So, having a partner that can get you that kind of stuff is super important.
And those things really are always important, right? Yeah. I mean, they certainly put you at a better, this, but they put you in a better negotiating position as a seller when your house is marketed to the best of its ability. It's just like any other, product that's going to be sold. If it's positioned in the best light possible, you are definitely going to garner better terms, better price, quicker sale, whatever it might be. And then also from an industry perspective, how you carry your branding and marketing as the markets fluctuate is really what identifies you as a professional, right? So no matter what the market is like, we don't skimp on the things that we think, right, makes a property show the best or a client be best positioned just because it may sell before we get video out. We have a process, we know what works, we have a brand to maintain and uphold, and we want to be sure that as the market shifts, people know exactly what level of service to expect from us. And I think the services that you provide in addition to the video, the kind of the coaching and the marketing and the meeting regularly and all of that kind of stuff, I think that's really speaks to the part that you said about starting the business, which was about making this accessible to all kinds of people. I own a big team. We do quite a bit of business. I have staff, right? I have a full-time marketing director. So we have people on staff to drive that direction. Not everybody has that. And so if they don't have someone who helps them with their social media strategy, there's certainly companies or individuals out there to do that, but they're not also creating the content. They don't have the real estate background that you have from being a co-owner of a company, right? I mean, there's huge value add to working with your company here in the marketplace.
And even if you are a big team and you have that person putting us in charge of that, I mean, you're going to be paying a marketing director a lot more than you're going to be paying us, you know, and we kind of are a good fill-in for that. So, you know, because we do the full media suite. Jackson is my media guy. He has many years experience in just social media. I hired a 20-year-old because they know more than all of us combined. So, and he's just super good with it. And all he does is researches hashtags, researches ways to make sure that you're being seen in the best way possible. And he's awesome. So you get the full kind of deal here.
Yeah. And I think that, you know, Mindy, what we've seen with, I mean, you've been doing video for as long as I've known you, right? That's why it's been, and consistently, that hasn't changed, right? The market, I mean, what the statement Brandon made about, you know, you put two pictures of the house up and the house is going to sell right now, it's pretty true. You know, it's pretty crazy, but it's still, but I think that the fact that you see that there's more value to it than just like, you know, just throwing out a video to market the property. It's also the fact that it's going to help in negotiations, right? It's going to draw more people into that. But it also helps for your seller, and from a branding perspective, it helps when your seller is excited about it, and they are now more likely to be sharing the information out there as well about their home being for sale. I know when I see some of these videos, I mean, not a specific of your house, but the houses that I've been in, I'm like, oh my gosh, this house just looks amazing, and I'm like, you know, and it inspires me to try to keep my house looking as nice all the time. So
well, and I think sometimes buyers will say that the media that they see, you know, looks better than the house looked itself when they saw it in person. And I think what's really important about that is, one, you have to be doing photos and videos that are realistic, right? So, I mean, we're not doing, and I don't think you see as much of this kind of stuff anymore, but certainly when professional photo and video first started, we saw a lot of those like fisheye lenses and, you know, football size living rooms and, you know, all this kind of stuff, or really HDR kind of stuff. And so everything was like electric, you know. So, I mean, I think luckily all that kind of stuff has chilled out a little bit. But I think what we need to remember is that when we position a product in its best light, and so literally with lights and staging and cleaning it up and doing all of those things, what you are doing is you are returning the property to what it actually has the value to become. Because when you go into a house that's not staged, prepped, or whatever it is, or you don't see the video, you have on top of it a layer of dirt, right? You have who lives there, what their background is, all the things you want to do to the house. And you have all this stuff that kind of bogs down your visual perception of the house. And the purpose of media is really to shine it in its best light and help you remember that you are able to turn this house into exactly what you see in those photos and video. You may have to clean it. You may need to get some new furniture. It may not be till you move in and you know, paint some walls and do some things like that. But media is meant to capture your heart. It's not about your mind. It's about your heart, and it's about emotion. And so what you want is you want clients to feel that emotion and be emotionally attached to the house, and remember that it can be exactly what they see in those photos and those videos.
You know, Mindy, I think you hit the nail on the head. You know, it's so funny because I talk about this a lot, that there's things that drive us that we don't even know are driving us, right? There's emotions that drive us that we don't even know, that we're not cognitive of those taking places. And those first impressions, you know, when you see, you know, when Susie and I were house shopping, there was a house that we saw videos of that we're like, oh no, there's no way we're not buying that house. We're buying that house. And it was one of those rare exceptions where it turned out to be so different than anything that we expected. And so it was shocking. And so we ended up not buying that house. But I can tell you that when we saw those images, we were just so struck, and we were just like instantly in love, and like trying to figure out how, and that happens. And it happens when people walk in the door of a home, and it happens when they're looking at those videos and they're getting emotionally invested, and they don't even know that it's happening, right? Because this happens to all of us every day in all different things. And so being able to present it in that light is the most important part of all of that.
Well, Don, good point too. I want to bring something up of what you just said on how important the emotion factor is. And I think that's why, and Brandon, maybe you could speak a little bit on this, on why selling lifestyle here in Arizona is such a great way to go to with video, because folks move here for what Arizona is, the sunshine, the golf, just the everything being newer, things like that in the communities. Can you speak a little bit on lifestyle type video if somebody wanted to do those type of things in their marketing?
Yeah, I mean, lifestyle videos is actually, I prefer lifestyle videos over just walking through a house, right? So, and then that just goes back to what Don was saying with emotion, right? And so you want to show, instead of just doing a house with slow pans all through the house, you can do something where you're actually showing, someone enjoying the house for what it is. And because, I mean, we have so many people coming from out of state, that's one of the best things about the drone shots that we do. The other things like that is showing what's around the house, not just inside the house.
Right.
Selling the area. Yeah, selling the area is super important. And then just for yourself, people like you. People want to see you online, right? They want to see what you're doing. And that's one of the biggest things that I've noticed is with a lot of clients is they're having people reach out to them and say, it's so good to see that you're doing this, or that was so exciting that you're at this restaurant, or, oh, I didn't know that you could do that there, right? So they're getting those kind of things, and it's not necessarily, oh, pretty house. It's more talking about them.
Yeah.
So,
well, if I was doing a series with you of lifestyle on scene, let's say you weren't using one of our studios and you were, they hired you to go on set somewhere and meet them. I mean, how cool would it be if there's so many great master plan communities here in Arizona, that maybe one of the videos you're sitting in the restaurant in there. Gosh, isn't this fantastic? Well, guess what? If you live in this is right outside your door. You can walk here. Or gosh, they're having a wine tasting tonight in here. Isn't this cool? And you're really showcasing that in the pool area and the gym and the whatever all those facets are. I mean, that could be 8-10 videos alone, all different based on that particular area of living.
Well, it's one of my clients, Justin Mercer, Tattooed Realtor. We were doing stuff, and it was a taco bouge day, it was called. So we go and buy tacos that are at a local, somewhere that was close to the house, and then he would walk around the house and eat tacos.
I've eaten tacos with Justin before.
Right.
I did take one for the team, and we ate somewhere with a funny taco place. I don't know.
It was always really interesting calling the listing agent and saying, so we're going to go do a video at your listing, but it's $1 million listing, and we're going to go walk around and eat tacos. Are you cool with that? So that was always an interesting conversation. But just stuff like that, doing, but that was bringing in the local to the house, right? And we did stuff like that. We've done more funny videos. I really love doing the kind of the funnier social media, kind of the clickbait stuff is a lot of fun. So it's not just standing in front of a green screen. It's not just, standing there stiff as a board, introducing a house. We can really take whatever your idea is, whether it's funny or serious or just something to get in touch with your database or to stay in front of your database, whatever it is. We can develop that marketing plan for you and execute it. And
love it.
People want to see you, so you need to be doing video. It's not a matter of if you want to do it, it's when you're going to do it. So yeah. Well,
and going back to that emotional piece, right? Because that's again that whole connectivity of man. Justin's a fun guy, or Brandon's cool, and I would like to be working with Brandon, and so being able to have that connection of again, going back to emotions of like, this is somebody who I identify with and somebody that seems fun. you know, and you know, Brandon, I've seen some of your videos on some of your properties or some that you've done around new builds where there's like 15 Brandons walking around in the same room. And still don't understand how you magically.
That was when I was first kind of getting really started into stuff, and it was just, what can I do that's different? So yeah, I would make myself walk around like 15 of me, and that was, you know, and that's kind of the progression of things. You know, I've always done a lot of video stuff for years, but I was pretty much doing stuff for myself only, and people started asking, and then I started doing video for other people, and then it became. You know, then with Amber and with Fidelity, we started doing a lot of stuff, and I mean, it's just blown up. I think we're bringing on about 2 to 5 clients a week right now. So
yeah, awesome.
Insane.
Excellent. So, so for those of you guys that are watching, you know, Brandon, you're probably unaware, but we're getting a little. We know you're on your backup computer that we fried the other one this morning, and we're getting a little bit of breaking up there, but we do appreciate your time today, and I know you're going to hang out with us while we talk through the market update and the mortgage update. But you know, Sharon brought this point up as well that if you're interested in giving this a shot, right, and there's no contracts. You don't have to do a 90-day commitment. Get connected to your Fidelity sales executive. We will help you get set up with the time in our studio to get together and start putting some film in the can. Look at how even though there's no film anymore or anything like that. But we would love to help you in that part of your business and get connected there. So
definitely.
So Mindy laughs at me because she's like, all right, Don's making himself out of touch as he talks about these emotional connections, and but that's part of my charm. So,
no, I was trying to say, and then it's also Jim Belushi Day, but that's the only name I could think of. So then I knew that it wasn't the right name.
Bobby Bonilla. Oh,
Bobby
my yeah,
I like Jim Belushi, Mindy. I'm right there with you. I don't know who this Palua guy is or.
I'll get you guys all sent some information on why this is an important day later. So.
Oh my God, he must. Does he like to play poker? Maybe is that why you have an association?
No. I mean, he played poker with the Mets. The guy's getting like $40 million over 25 years instead of a $6 million contract that he had left. So
he just value his negotiating skills. That's good. I like it. That's
yeah, you're a good agent there. You definitely had a good agent. So.
But I'm also the person who called Don yesterday and said the only person that I knew that played football was Joe Montana.
Yes.
So I'm probably not the person to be at.
But why did we decide? But Mindy, why did we decide that was important?
Because he played for Notre Dame.
There we go. Perfect. Joe Montana played for Notre Dame. Monty Williams, the coach of the Sun, is a Notre Dame alum. So, you know.
Oh, is he? Okay. Well, then I like him even better. I already like him.
See?
So there
you go. Okay. Well, let's talk money. And so Amber, when last we spoke, we had a lot of potential things that were going to be happening, a lot of numbers, the inflation concerns, all of those that would potentially be impacting our mortgage rates. So we are excited for your update today, and hopefully we hear some good news today.
Yeah, thank you. And it's awesome to be on here with Brandon. Dawn introduced me to the idea of doing videos with Brandon, and it's been such a home run for me. And it goes back to what Mindy was saying with the consistency. Like, I've had this dream list of videos that I've wanted to do for years, but it was just finding the time to do them, building them into my routine. And now Brandon shows up in my office every Tuesday at 10 a.m. and I have to be prepared. Like, I have to know what I'm going to do. And now every week we're knocking out 5 or 6 videos, and like my dream list is all happening, and it's keeping me more connected to my clients, to my partners. It's just been incredible. So I have been one of his biggest raving fans, telling everyone about how fantastic it is because of his like quality of work. Just, it's fun to work with him, and then having that accountability. I'm a big believer in structure and accountability and systems, or else it just doesn't get done. We have way too many plates spinning at one time, and if he's not showing up in my office, I'm probably not getting them done. I'm working remotely from North Carolina, so we recorded a lot of videos ahead of time. And so I do send a weekly pre-approval video to all of my clients that are out shopping. And so I was saying I've had to record them like on BombBomb, like old school. And I'm like, I miss my guy. So I'm excited to get back into videos. But if videos has been on your to-do list, which I know it has been with a lot of agents I talk to, I highly recommend reaching out to Brandon to, you know, just give a boost to your business and get into that world. You will love it.
Hold on.
So on a money front, bonds have been trading in a pretty defined range for the last like 3 months, which is a long time for them to be in this range where we're kind of just day to day, you know, hitting the bottom or going to the top of the range. And so we're just watching it, but we've been range bound, which means at some point the news is going to break us out of that range. So when we got the inflation numbers and everything, we didn't really move a whole lot in the markets. And now tomorrow is the payroll numbers. And that's a big thing that the federal governor is watching, is to see what's going on with employment numbers. And so tomorrow could spark a rally one way or the other. If the payroll numbers come better than expected, expect interest rates to get worse. That will likely pull money out of bonds and into stocks. If the payroll numbers come in worse than expected, likely to see interest rates go down. So they're really trying to get a feel for what's going on with the economy right now. And it's been hard to determine because it's looked like we have this strong economy, but a lot of it seems to be just like fake demand, like people revenge buying during COVID, you know, supply chain breakdowns causing prices to go up. So it's like questioning how strong really is our economy. Can they start raising interest rates? Should the Fed start tapering on their mortgage-backed security purchases? So we're just really like keyed in on all of this. But as soon as they start talking about tapering, as soon as they say it's time, expect interest rates to go up probably 1% on that news at least, because we are still in this manipulated low interest rate environment. So time will tell. Tomorrow could be a market mover. We're also going into a holiday weekend, which trading slows down, making everything more volatile. So if you're looking to lock into a purchase or a refinance rate, today could be a really good day to do something heading into this potential volatility tomorrow. So that's where we're at.
Excellent. Well, thank you for the update, and we appreciate it. And that's what it's, you know, there's just so many different elements that impact where the money's at. And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine last weekend, and they were talking about their need to upsize their house, and they just really had a attitude of, well, we just want to wait things out. We just want to wait things out. And so my counterpoint to them was, okay, well, here's the challenge with that. Well, you know, our first challenge is that the price of the house is going to cost you more next week than it cost you this week because of what we're seeing on appreciation. And it's very likely the cost of the money is going to cost you more next week than it's going to cost you this week. So while, and if for some reason the cost of money doesn't move, then you haven't lost anything. Or if it goes down, you know, you can refinance and go down to those rates as well. But the appreciation we're seeing right now, the volatility in interest rates, that they could be paying $300 to $500 a month more for the exact same house that they would like to be buying today. And so it's so important that we look at these factors and that we look to take advantage of that as we're making our decisions, especially when it comes to something with this big of a price tag, right? This isn't you know whether or not bread's on sale at the grocery store, but this is a lot bigger, and it's going to have a lot bigger long-term financial impact on your well-being. So
yeah, I mean, just yesterday I was doing like a updated consultation with a client that was going to buy last year, decided to rent one more year, didn't feel like really ready to pull the trigger on a home purchase. And she's basically priced out of the market now. I mean, she would only be able to afford a condominium, and just looking at like what she could have got last year compared to where she could get this year, it's so discouraging. She's like beating herself up over it, which you can't go back and change it. But we kind of have like our crystal ball right now that says interest rates are going to go up at some point, and home prices are continuing to rise. So take action before those things happen. There's no sign of our home prices going backwards at all. So if you want to buy before it's more expensive, then buy now.
Right. And the other thing that I pointed out in this conversation was that the home that they're in now is probably a home around $400,000, and that the home that they'd like to be in is probably over $600,000. And so when we look at things that are moving in percentages, then there's a compounded effect that is going to cost them more on that interest because they're buying at a higher price point, and the appreciation, if the 400,000 and the 600,000 are appreciating at the same rate, 3% more on 400 is less than 3% on 600. So you should be getting your appreciation on that 600. So, well, thank you. We appreciate the update, Amber, as always, and thank you for your coming in all the way from North Carolina today too. We appreciate it.
Yes, of course.
And we know you guys have Big Bobby Bonilla Day plans for the family this afternoon. So yes. So Mindy, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Tell us how our market is looking, please.
Yeah, so there are a few trends that I want to highlight for you. I'll give you a little bit of information and then I'm going to share my screen. If for some reason it starts to get a little wonky after it's sharing, just go ahead and stop sharing for me and just let me know that that's the case. Because I don't normally share, but there's a couple of things that I just think are a little bit easier to explain where we've come from and where we are at visually. The key here is that we've been talking since the middle of February about inventory increasing. So we have nowhere near what we need for the number of people looking to buy, but we have noticed a significant increase in the amount of inventory on the market. And week after week after week, we come on here and we report on it. And we started saying it mid-February, early March, that we were seeing an increase in the inventory, and you probably won't feel it, and we don't really know when it'll actually make any kind of difference that you'll feel, right? And that's kind of been the message. And so Amber comes on and says interest rates will definitely go up. We come on and say at some point you won't be able to list your house, ask for people's firstborn, make them clean your house before you move out. Like at some point things will change, right? And so there's been a sense of urgency around taking advantage of the market of the moment, which is something that we know is really good. Well, now here we are at the beginning of July. So that's March, April, May, June. So a little bit over 4 months that we've been talking about this. And now the changes are palpable. So if we look, I'm going to share some graphs here in a moment. We don't know when we'll hit a balanced market. So remember, nothing of what we're talking about has anything to do with prices going down. What it has to do with the rate of appreciation slowing down. And what it has to do with is the selling environment and the conditions in which you're able to purchase and making some changes. And so week after week, we've seen active listing counts go up. We're now increasing by about 300 new listings per week on top of what's average. The number of showings has been declining, and the number of contracts getting signed is getting smaller each week. Now, some of this is cyclical and expected during the summer, but remember that our summer last year didn't look like that. Because when inventory is so low, and that's the primary driving factor of what's happening in the market, that overtakes any kind of seasonality, right? What happens in the summer, what happens around the holidays. Well, now we're seeing some of that seasonality come through. We're also seeing pockets of the valley respond differently to the seller's market than they have before. So it was before, no matter what neighborhood you were in, uniformly, right? You were getting many, many offers, selling well over asking with all of the conditions the seller was asking for. And now we're seeing that vary by market, which I think is also an indicator that things are starting to change. And now we're noticing that buyers are getting a little more negotiation room. Now, this certainly doesn't mean you can go in and ask for something 50% off of market value. You may even still be paying over market value, or excuse me, over list price. But what's not happening in every listing is we're not getting across the board 20 offers on every listing. We're not going $50,000 to $60,000 on every listing over. We are on some, but not on every listing. And so there are opportunities for you to work with your real estate agent and find these properties for you to get into before we see some significant changes in interest rate. So I just want to share with you, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And I'm going to share with you a couple of things that I think will make it easier for you to understand exactly how the market has changed just since February. Let me know when you guys can see that.
It's not showing up on my screen over here to
Okay, it did before when we were testing it, but not now.
Oh, I didn't know you were actually testing it then because it did not.
Okay, that's okay. So I'm going to just explain it to you. And then what I will do is that if you guys are interested in taking a peek at those, you can contact me after today and I'd be happy to share them with you. So one of the things that we were watching was how fast did the Cromford Market Index rise since December of last year. And what the Cromford Market Index does is it takes the demand and it takes supply and it mushes them together and says, how hot is our market, right? Because your market can be hot because you have very high demand, or your market could be hot because you have very low supply. And right now our market is hot because we have very low supply. Most areas have average demand, if not below demand. So here in Gilbert, where the market is absolutely hot, our demand is actually a little bit less than average. And the reason behind that is because appreciation has gone up about 35% year over year in Gilbert. It's not surprising that that would be scary for some people. It also means that there's very low inventory. And so you may have half a dozen houses, if that, to choose from in your price range and with your search criteria. And so naturally you'll make a decision to either look in a different city or not to move. And so we've got a lot of people in Gilbert just not moving, even though it's a very hot market and it's very lucrative. So what we did is we looked at how quickly did the market rise, that CMI, that Cromford Market Index rise since December. And then since mid-February, when we started to report an increase of inventory, how fast has it fallen? Right? And it's going to fall because inventory has gone up. And so when we looked, even just a few weeks ago, we said it's falling slower than it rose, right? Which means we're adding inventory to the market slower than it fell in those 3 months. Well, that has changed. We are now adding inventory faster. So what it means is that our initial projection a few weeks ago was that we probably would be in a balanced market somewhere around the end of the year for many East and West Valley cities. And across the board, across all of Arizona, probably sometime around the end of summer of next year, we would see some type of a balanced market. So when people say, how long will it take until we get to a balanced market? Sans a crystal ball, we can say, well, the last 14 weeks, this is how much inventory we've added. At what pace did we add it? If we kept adding it at that same pace, at what point will we naturally hit a more balanced market? And so those are the projections. Well, over the last week or two, that's changed. And so I would expect those numbers will be even less. I think before the end of the year, you will start to feel even more than you do today, a change in the way your market is happening and you're experiencing as a buyer and a seller. So many of our sellers will feel immediately, it's typical denial for our sellers, right? Because they're selling their house based on everything you've been telling them and what they've been seeing for the past 6 months. And there was definitely a period of 3 or 4 months that we will probably never experience again, right? It was an escalation of prices that was massive and extreme. And we always said that that would be short-lived. And I don't think we'll see that again, right? We are still seeing increase in prices. You will still sell for more than your neighbor sold for. And you probably will need to price your house accordingly, meaning some appreciation on top of what your neighbor sold for. Prep your house accordingly. Get a good real estate agent who knows how to negotiate and understands what's happening in the market. Do the right marketing around photos and video and show your house in the best light. And you will still sell for more than you thought. You cannot, however, continue to price your house $100,000 over the last house in your neighborhood. May you get there through the market? Possible. Let the market tell you that. Pricing right now is so important, and you have to have your thumb. There's no right or wrong number. There is not one number that will work for a house. But the goal of pricing strategy from a listing agent is to find the number that feels right, meaning it's pushing it a little bit because we're in a seller's market. The house is prepped accordingly. And then when people come in, they fall in love with it. And because they fall in love with it, they want to do anything that they can to get it. And that's what drives the motivation of moving the price up, not because you've priced it $100,000 over market value. So these are conversations that if agents are not skilled in having, they need to start partnering with agents and teams and partners who are. Because as the market shifts, it will become even more apparent who has skills in the listing space and who doesn't. And the same goes for our buyers. There is an increased sense of urgency to get them in as interest rates are going to go up. We've already been talking about that. We've said we're starting to add some additional inventory to the market, so you may have some additional opportunities and things to choose from. You will not get the fast, extremely fast type of appreciation that we saw at the beginning of this year. So get in as early as you can before we hit a balanced market, so you can still benefit from expediting those first 3 to 5 years of appreciation in your home right off the bat. So you'll have options to reduce your PMI. You'll have options to refinance if you need to. You'll have more mobility options. You get transferred. You've got to move. You have the ability to sell faster than you would need to in a balanced market. These are all reasons to take advantage of the market that we see today.
And important that a balanced market doesn't mean that appreciation stops. It doesn't mean that all of the values of home ownership go away. They just mean that we're not at this crazy escalation process that we're at right now.
Correct. At some point, home prices will stop rising daily, right? There is natural appreciation that occurs in a real estate market based on the value of the property. So maybe you see 3% to 5% annual appreciation on a property. For some parts of the country, they don't see any appreciation on their properties. There are parts of the country where people live in their home for 30 years, 40 years, and they're lucky to get out of it exactly what they bought it for. They see maybe 1% appreciation in their home. We have just been spoiled with such a consistent appreciating market that we expect out of our home. Now, it's different if you're doing this from an investment perspective, of course, but we expect out of our home not only to enjoy it and it be the safe place for our family to live and sleep, but also that we're going to make extreme amounts of money on it. And this is one of those markets that you can, and real estate always works in the long term, right? So this is the time to start building that generational wealth on top of taking care of your own family today.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so thank you so much, Mindy. We appreciate it.
Very well said, Mindy. Very well said. Yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate the update, and and we'll continue to watch those numbers each week. I just want to quickly move to upcoming events. If you haven't seen on my Facebook page, on pretty much everybody from the Fidelity team's Facebook page, the investor world recently lost one of our partners out there, and there's a benefit this afternoon. It's a real estate education benefit. It's all going to be live streamed. It's it's free. They're asking for donations throughout the live stream. I believe it's 6 hours of educational content from this lineup. That they put this lineup together in a week just blows my mind. The level of people that are going to be speaking today at this event. So
it's incredible. Don't miss it.
Yes. So jump on to anybody from the Fidelity team's Facebook page. You'll find the link there to jump on. Strongly encourage you to do so, and what a great opportunity to do some learning there. Also this afternoon, the Amy Jones Group is hosting our quarterly business mixer at Parlay Kitchen over in Chandler from 4:30 to 6. You can find more information on the Amy Jones Group Facebook page. It's on my page as well. If you have any questions, reach out. we encourage you, if you are a painter, if you own the ice cream shop, which is, we had the ice cream shop conversation last week, whatever your business is, we would love to have you there, and an opportunity to meet and network with other professionals in our area. So, did I cover everything we needed to cover?
And don't forget, get with your Fidelity sales executive, Dawn or myself, and we'll get you connected in our Fidelity studio. And you can come meet with Brandon. And like I just said on Facebook here, he's going to make you a video rock star. So make that part of your business today and finish out 2021 and meet all your goals. So yeah, great job. Thank you.
Okay, you guys. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for checking us out today. We'll see you next week, and have a great rest of your day. And don't get too crazy on Bobby Bonilla Day. So we'll see you guys all soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.